we all have adversity, and we have to deal with it based on the nature of it.
And look at them cheer. They know it came down to that final lap. And Aztecs will be able to cheer. And I'll tell you what, Colorado State made something of it, didn't they?
They really did. Lauren Gale did not.
But you don't let it control you.
Have the infield cleared.
You control it.
There is a battle for second that you can see on the back of the screen there.
That remember that you're not the first one that has gone through or going through adversity.
All Speed City. I mean, we're here making history. We're doing things that haven't been done in years. That's exactly what this team is all about. We're about making history.
I know that the current San Jose State has a very difficult job. And whoever the coach is, I know that it can't be easy. Because what happens with track and field, if you don't have a facility, you can't have home meets. You can't build a following. We had people that followed us. We're running all the way through the Bay Area. People would come down from Oakland, San Francisco, Berkeley, everywhere to see San Jose State run and to follow us to the track meet, carpool-wise, all right? And you knew who they were. It also got publicity. Without a facility, how can you have a program? You have to practice at other schools. You can never publicize anything. You can never have a complete program. And it's got to be hard on the kids because they have to go to class, they have to go somewhere else to practice, and then come to class.
It's not difficult for them to figure out the locations of practice. It's just a simple matter of communication between the staff and the team. The facility issue is not an excuse or a hindrance to them having their ultimate performances. We've talked about that. We've talked about that as a team. We've talked about that with the kids. I think, if anything, the not having their own facility issue is more of a level of perceived disrespect. And make no mistake about it, it is disrespect. The mistakes and the sins of the past committed by the university and the dismantling of the original track is a political problem for the administration. It's an emotional problem for the administration. It's a sign of disrespect to the track program, which is, fractured relationships between the alumni and, the program. All of that is true, but none of that has anything to do with me and my staff. None of that has anything to do with Jeff Konya and his current administration. We're all here to rectify and fix and build towards the future. I'm a solutions-based guy. And so complaining about a reality that we all understood before we got here doesn't make any sense to me. Our job is to get these people better at their events and make them, better versions of themselves athletically and go out there and perform.
Makai, short Makai, you're gonna come with me. Short Makai, come here. Hey, remember if you can do stuff in reverse, not only does it strengthen you in different ways, but it's also gonna just make you more coordinated. If we can be better in reverse, we can be better forward. He's doing a pretty good job, so I want him to demo this. We are not on our reverse run gonna get our knee way up here, but I want you to lift it as you bring the heel up and then extend it. When you extend long, sweep the foot towards underneath your hip and then try to bounce off of that. Your arms, the tendency is to go little and across. I want you to purposely go cheekbone and with that. Again, the better you get at it, the better you'll get forward. He's getting pretty good at this. I know he's ugly, but this is starting to look better. So I want you to demo this because I want you to see the mini knee lift he's getting and the bounce off the track, and his arms are getting better. So watch it and see it. We're gonna do that again. Set, go. Knee up a little bit more, bounce. Good, stop. So as you continue, you should be able to get a little bit longer and bouncier when you do this. Okay, let's try it again. Stop. Wrap it up. High, baby. Wrap it up for my high, baby. High, you will not go again. Sit. Go.
I've always prided myself in having bonds, with my athletes. A lot of the athletes you have were minority students. And so sometimes you're the greatest source of support that they have.
TJ is high school today?
He's at
Falling starts. They haven't done falling starts.
Right, that's what I thought.
Hell no.
You going to 60? Okay, so there's a lot of language on these cars, and some of it we haven't actually covered this out before. This part, these 60s are from a falling start position. Is anybody familiar with falling start?
Yeah.
Show me a falling start. Since you nodded your head, you in the front. Yeah. Now, the point is, you've got to have some power to it, right? The fall is going to create, you to move faster than you want to move. So your hands have to be, open. When I say open, I don't mean short. Open and fast, but same principles you've been doing. But yes, fall and start. Feet together under your shoulders, come up on your toes, and fall. Get as far forward as you can, and then react to that. Does that make sense? Don't just do a little baby thing. Like, lean into it. 60. Daria, you're already wrong. Up on your toes, fall and go. It's on you. Big knee, bring it back. Again, come up on your toes first, fall and go.
That was good. Sorry.
I actually don't know if you are or if you're not, but remember, everything you do in practice acceleration should be with your 7th step. Miss Sydney. Look, you running or you not? What's the deal? All right, get some water.
And the coach plays a very important role. The coach, to me, sometimes they'll call me Pops. And I know why. I'm like a father figure to them. They come to you for advice and stuff like that, and they look at how you live and stuff. And so, that's important. That you set good standards. And then you have to be encouraging.
I just don't feel good right now.
Her pain level is really, really high.
Great. So what's the solution?
I said she either has to manage it and get through it, or we need to step off and I'll put her on a cross-training plan today, which I'm okay with, but she has to be mentally okay with
Why
that.
are you looking like that?
Because I'm looking for the solution.
Because, Coach, I'm in pain.
Okay. What he's asking, what I'm asking is, what exactly would you like us to do about it? If this was next weekend and we're in New Mexico and we got a race in an hour and a half, are you racing or are you not racing?
I'm just hoping that I don't feel like this when I'm in New Mexico.
That's not going to happen. That's the part that you have to start to get yourself. You understand that that's not a reality that you are living in right now.
So I have to run with pain every day?
Yeah, that's what shin pain is. That's what shin splints are. It's not a muscle. It's not a muscle. The shin splints, if that's what is going on, and it sounds like that's what's going on, you got two options. Manage it and run through it, or stop running. Those are literally your two options. And we are giving you the option to do either. But
that's
understand, it's not gonna change by next week. It's not gonna change.
Those are the two options.
So you got to figure out how you want to deal with it. There's no magic dust we have to sprinkle on you, and it's not gonna be that. It is what it is.
Okay. We'll worry about the second half when we get there, but we're gonna try to match or be better. Short sprints, when we get to the 350, you ain't gonna run that. Yours is gonna be at 250. Okay, yours is gonna be at 250. Any specific groups for you?
No, we can mix all of that. I mean, obviously the 250 group's gonna be separate, but everything else, mix it as appropriate. Mr. Harrison, grab a block and go down there. We got.
We have an idea of how the last
7.
four probably would be. So it's like coming over here. Oh.
Let's start our 150 guys at that cone, please. 150 at that cone. You'll finish at the 200 start. Now it gets hard. Now we got to get in attack mode. Heart rate's a little bit up. Slow your breathing down. Let's get ready.
It's like getting more irritated right now.
What's bothering you? Oh,
Same
your
spot.
knee thing?
Yeah.
So here's what I want from you. I want you to try to attack the hell out of this one. Okay, this rep, this is the important one. And then after that, talk to me. We will evaluate whether we need to shut down, get into the cool down, or whether we press out those last 2 reps.
Gotcha.
Because one
like,
right now.
Hurts like right here, right before I'm about to hit the ground.
Okay, let's try this one. 1 rep. Two and a half minutes. We get our head right, we get in attack mode. I want you guys to work on what we've been talking about. We're gonna get out hot, hit relaxation. As we get towards 200, attack mode again. Let's find that finish. The last 50 meters is nothing but form, speed off the ground. Don't overthink the last 50. Speed off the ground, form, technical, through that line. Impress me, impress yourself through that 300 cone. 300 cones are set over there for you, so you're not confused about where it is. Attack through that and stay on it. So be ready. 2 minutes, 2 minutes.
All right, sir, do exactly what you've been doing. Don't worry about what I'm doing. Now, sir, how the hell you hit a hurdle that ain't even in your lane? But let's think about that for a moment. Think about how sloppy you had to be over that hurdle to smack a hurdle that's not even in your lane.
Get in a rhythm. If your body tries to shut down, stay.
Come take a look at this. Hopefully this is, I was far enough back to get a good shot.
Everything we do right now is about our finish, and it starts mentally.
First of all, where are you supposed to be? On the left. Yeah. Clearly you ain't on the left. If you're hitting the hurdle in lane 7, you're supposed to be in lane 6, right? Now, I put this here for a reason. You can't even see your hurdle, right? So when you're going over baby hurdles, everybody thinks, oh, those are baby hurdles. I'm not high enough to clear a real hurdle anyway. But that's not true. See that? You are high enough to clear that hurdle. Except, what is this punt? See that lead leg? I call that a punt. Looks like you're trying to kick a football. You don't hurdle like that. How are you supposed to hurdle? Lead with your knee, right? I know you heard that before. All you did was get here and jump and kick your foot out. No, sir. Bring your knee to your chest. That's the lead leg's job. Now the problem I have here, see how disconnected your knee is from your foot? When you go over the top of the hurdle, your trail knee and your lead knee are supposed to be together. So you did a decent job of pulling it forward, but you were late to that part.
22, 23, 24, 5, 1, ready, stay. Wow. Go.
Armpit, then this thing is in a better position, and there's no way in hell you could smack your foot. I'm sure it did. That's why I put that shit there. So stay on the left where you belong, and when it's time to take off, you drive your knee to your chest. We don't punt. Drive your knee to your chest and move the trail leg. Move your knee. It's got to move. Knee and thigh up. Remember, just like the drills. Up. No time for hanging in the back. Make sense? Do it again.
Come on, Gabby. Come on, Gabby. Keep coming, Daria. 20. 24. 25. Go. 25. 26. 27. 28. 9. 30. 31.
Damn. This is what happens when you're taking off from a place that is scary to you, that is foreign to you. People do all kind of weird shit. Happens all the time. So we got to get to a place where you can always hit your point, and that becomes natural, and then it'll stop being so scary. Because again, once you clear number one, everything else is the same, right? But you have to clear one like a hurdler with speed and velocity, or else it's not worth the change. All right? Cool down and join the group. We'll mix you in with what they're doing on the end. All right? Put those hurdles out.
Keep picking up. Keep picking up. Arm drive gets bigger. Finish it. Cramping, guarantee it every time. Cramp, cramp, cramp. Nobody has cramp more than
These build-ups do the job, though.
That's why they cramp it up. Bashar, now we're at 110. Or did you just do the 120? Okay, now you're on the 120. Small arrow for the exchange zone. Our last one's a 110.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Make them pretty. Big bounce off the track.
Yeah. Tired, man. Dad. Fuck this sport. I love it, though.
I got some niggas that been trapping, no one do this.
Go.
I got some niggas one away at they keep moving like
There you go. Keep attacking the ground. Keep attacking the ground. Good. Ready. Go.
I said I'm rich and Millie, but
Well, all of you. Ready. Go.
I want my chain shining, got me
Keep
like
attacking the ground. Toes up, toes up, toes up, toes up, toes up.
I know I sound savage by the way I'm rapping, but I'm trying to tell you, nigga, I'm gonna get it in my bed. Watch me do it.
You the one with the card? Did you weren't sure what drill you were doing?
I know I'm running out of time. I also watch me get to you.
Like, I wondered if you ever seen that. It's like I pulled up to practice and then it just leaking gas. So, but I gotta finish up practice. I'll hit you in a minute. All right, bye. Attack the ground, attack the ground, attack the ground. Good. Okay? Good. Look, I say it all the time the way I say it, like, make sure we don't get complacent and just set our foot on the ground, right? Like, I know that that's gonna come into play, like, as we're starting to kind of deal with some of the shin stuff, because this is a hard surface, okay? But in terms of, like, good mechanics, remember, like, equal and opposite return. Like, if you put your foot on the ground, you're only going to get that much back. But if you put it on the ground and you're going to propel yourself. Now, when you get out of position, that's when your shins and stuff start going. That hurts. Did you smell gas up there? Does that make sense? All right, what's that? You smell gas up there? Yeah. The hits keep coming, man. If I show you this picture, you see my freaking... I pulled up and stopped. Gas just gushing out of my car. I'm like, what is going on? That's not good. No, not at all. So then the mechanic was like, yeah, man, between now and when you bring your car in to see me, don't burn your ass up, okay? What? So. Slow A skips, okay? Sweep to the top. Hey, do a really good job with how you contact the ground, yeah? I want to see this. Make sure that we're balanced.
I feel really good, you know, moving from growing up in Indiana, then being in Ohio, moving to California. That's a big change and a big move in a lot of different ways. Culture, diversity, weather, the program I'm in right now compared to the program that I was in, it's very different. And I was a little bit concerned about how I would be accepted as such a big change. And these people have been incredible. I've enjoyed every single day. I feel great about this season. I'm excited to build this season and future ones. We performed well. This whole thing is about progression. I don't care if we progress a little bit or a lot. I want us to always progress and not take steps backwards. And I'm talking performance and race strategy and meet preparation and warm up and how we get our bodies ready. And in every way, shape, and form, we progressed somehow. Again, some people a little bit, some people a lot, and that's what I want to see.
You're going to always have this little voice in your head fucking with you saying, I don't know if I can do this or I can't do this. Get rid of that shit. You control it. Another round, match it or better. Match it or better. The first one's easy. Now you got to be a real athlete and try to pull something special from yourself. Let's hit this. As soon as we finish, we walk across immediately. No fucking around. No, to the wall. Turn left, walk across immediately. Clear? Come on, let's get it. We got no time. I talked too long. We went 15 seconds of extra recovery. Get out, run smooth.
Same thing, really. Progress. We have to deal with hard workouts better, deal with pain and fatigue better, emotionally, physically, all that stuff, mentally. And then from a technical aspect, we're always trying to improve technique and fundamentals, just like in other sports. You've got to be able to throw a football technically. You got to be able to run routes technically. You have to be able to do basketball fundamentals from a technical and fundamental state when tired. Track is no different, even though it's looked at differently sometimes. So block starts, sprint form, mechanics, all of those things have to get better as well, both when we're fresh and in fatigue, and that's what I look for on the weekly. It's not that
Stay
complicated.
explosive.
That's what I'm seeing.
I don't want anything soft. No little bunny hops. We explode. Learn to be powerful when you're tired. Up here, sir. Come on. Come near us. 26. 26. Here we go. Set. Up. 1, 2, up. 3, up. Halfway, come on, up. Don't give up on yourself. Up. 15, up. 16, up. 17, up.
Good. I honestly wish it was longer so we had more time to progress, but I feel very, very good about it, and I look forward to really the championship coming up.
Come on, up. 19, up. 20, up. Come on, 2 more, baby. Up. Up. Hold. Chin up, chest up, booty down. Relax, man. Nice work.
To you, we welcome you to the Convention Center, downtown Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's the Mountain West Conference Indoor Track and Field Championships, and it's live right here on the Mountain West Network. Hello, everyone. I'm Adam Deal. I'm joined by Eric Schultz and soon the third member of our crew, Bridget Howard, having some fun all day long. A lot of qualifiers today on this fast track here in the indoor setting, and a lot of field events as well. By the way, if you want to check out some of the separate field events from this broadcast, finals will be tomorrow. Live action continuing here on the Mountain West Network. Looks like Harrison and a late surge. It goes Harrison, I believe. And let's see. Take another look.
Really good start out of Harrison, but that is Barnes and Harrison. But then you really see from Colorado State come up strong. But your winner is Harrison, running a 796.
So off they go here. This is the fourth heat. Here are the prelims.
Gale's already made up the stagger on lane 6.
Call it 53 for Gale.
Gale ran the entire race by herself and won by 20, 30 meters.
Sydney Bentley, the sophomore from San Jose State, with a 55.80.
And Bentley ran a really good time, but you don't necessarily notice it.
It's Micaiah Lee, the sophomore from San Jose State, in lane 8. And so it's going to be tight.
Looked like
Tavore, I believe.
Edged it out.
And so it's last moment. Was it Holstrom? Excuse me, it was actually from San Jose State, Leo, that finishes.
That is a
how about that?
Phenomenal time by Sophie Lau. Moore goes second with a time of 7.50.
Clean start this time. And so was that Johnson? It was from San Jose State.
Johnson gets out to the very strong start and then leads start to finish. Not surprising from the number 1 seed coming in.
And Johnson with the 6.82. McCants, his teammate behind him at 6.89 here on the Mountain West Network as we're off. And there you go.
Longest of starts, but as you can see, as he gets out of that drive phase and really stands up and opens up the stride, he takes off and runs a 6.74, which is the fastest time.
That last heat, Nicola finishing it for New Mexico. Adams from San Jose State was in second. It's pretty even through the staggers so far, to be honest.
That is Larrier,
who came screaming. It looked like Willems had the edge, and look at this on the top of your screen. It was Evans Bay from San Jose State. It's the second time we've had that same block of an issue.
So one of the issues is, and all the athletes have been here this year, but if you don't run on a bank often enough.
That's going to be a false start, I believe.
You see Leacock, he's kind of looking that way. He may think it's him, but you never want to tell yourself.
Haven't seen the word yet. And there it is. So Evans Bay has been disqualified from the false start. Now remember, he was struggling with his block.
That is unfortunate. And our camera operator had a great look at it. And from the naked eye, I did not see it, but it's hard to see false starts necessarily from the front. That's why the officials look at the feet.
That's Gabrielle Spencer, the freshman from San Jose State, on your screen.
Hopefully this is not the cameraman jinx. Every time he's highlighted someone today, I feel like there's been a false start of some sort.
Well, don't pull the announcer jinx.
It's broken.
Off and running here in the 200, and well, look at this from Colorado State. Lauren Gale has made up the stagger and more, and so Gale leads the show.
The Canadian record holder is easily the leader in this heat.
Wow. For all the finals, so a lot of championships and a lot of team championships to be announced, a lot more action. I'd like to thank the entire crew. Bridget Howard doing a great job for the entire technical crew here. And Eric Schultz, I'm Adam Deal saying so long tonight. Join us tomorrow for the finals here on the Mountain West Network. Well, a good afternoon to you. We welcome you to the Convention Center, downtown Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's the Mountain West Conference Indoor Track and Field Championships, and it's live right here on the Mountain West. All right, so you got Sydney Bentley, Emily Costello, Yolanda Johnson, and Sakura Robertson. Last 20 meters, remember this is section 1 of 2 in this finals, and to the stretch.
Yeah.
And Gail has made up the stagger almost on Tavor.
Bounce back, got that bounce.
So it's
Sophie Lau comes in with the fastest seed time from the prelims today.
Start
toes down in the game.
Middle, and I believe from Boise State.
Looks like O'Brien has a lot left as he's made up the stagger.
So
And he comes down the stretches in your lead.
in front, and O'Brien is going to win. Quick start. Look at this. This is going to be a tight finish. And who was it? It was Barnes from Colorado State. Well, again, San Jose State's in lane 3. In lane 4, it's Air Force. In lane 5, Colorado State. And in lane 6, New Mexico. Clean start. Men's 4x400 relay.
Leacock and Air Force, and you are out to a good start.
Barnes has won it a couple of times, and Barnes is opening out a little bit of a lead here for Colorado State. Burrows dropped behind for New Mexico. As we get to the second lap, of a surge.
Barksdale from San Jose State kind of went down on Burrow.
Colorado State out in front.
Washington to Larrier. And that's Sleater and Overstreet at the end there. Sleater's a 6th-year senior.
And so here it comes. So you got Gaither.
Willems.
And Willems right behind him.
Is that Evans Bay? Yep, it is.
This is it right here. A tight one. Willems making his move.
Not sure what Larrier gave Willems the inside lane, which is not something you want to do when you're in the lead.
And so it goes Colorado State, New Mexico, and then San Jose State finishes third. And how about that finish? And so off we go. 2 laps around each. So the stagger now done after the first lap.
That's Pipione out in front.
Pipione leads.
But Bentley's coming up on her outside as they come down to the first exchange.
Really even. Did they get the exchange there? Barely, I think, just did San Diego State. So it goes San Jose State, then Fresno State right now.
So it's Mosteller and Mitchell.
There's the handoff.
Now it's Sproles and Johnson are your first 2. It's Johnson on the outside from San Jose State to take the lead within the first 100.
Kaya Johnson getting a little bit more distance for San Jose State. And let's see if she could close it. She's got the last 50-meter kick, and San Jose State across first. Buckner comes across for Fresno State. So there they go.
Really strong start out of Wyatt Murphy out of Air Force.
Cola's going to pull up, and winning it is Johnson from San Jose State.
So McCants takes
Roman Johnson, the junior from San Jose State, is standing with Bridget.
Roman, what a race there in the 60. What was key for you in closing this one out?
The hunger. The hunger was there. I mean, yesterday was a wake-up call. You know, coming in the fastest doesn't really mean anything. It could easily change overnight, but I made sure that didn't happen today.
How special is it to be able to take both 1 and 2, your fellow Spartan taking the 2nd place spot here in this race? How special is that for you and your teammate?
We're here making history. We're doing things that haven't been done in years. And, you know, that's exactly what this team is all about. We're about making history. Speed City, that's what we're called. We're called Speed City. So, you know, we're just here living up to that name.
You are absolutely living up to that name. We'll go celebrate this gold. This gold. Congratulations,
Yeah.
Roman.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Back to you guys.
The city of Albuquerque, and of course here at the convention center, we're saying so long to you until next time. From the Duke City, we're saying goodbye. It's been the Mountain West Championships right here on the Mountain West. How about that Speed City? And that was proven.
But
with Roman
Charles
Johnson
Ryan, the director of track and field and cross country at San Jose State, has done a really phenomenal job of building this program.
Easily their best Mountain West Championship performance in years. They overexceeded every expectation. Both the men's and women's teams overperformed their score projection by almost double. Actually, the men were more than double. The men were finished only 6 points out of third place, which would have been a podium finish. They've never finished that high. The women, both teams were projected to finish last place. The women, believe I finished 6th, half a point out of 5th, and 2 points out of 4th. We set 30 personal records. We broke 5 school records, and we had 10 athletes finish top 3 in the conference, which is all Mountain West team. So overall, I really couldn't be prouder of the staff, the student athletes, and the performances that we put up. If I had to narrow it down to a handful, I would say that Gabby Spencer finishing 3rd in the 200-meter dash and setting a school record at 23:80 was a huge breakthrough performance for her. Roman Johnson obviously won his first Mountain West Championship in the 60-meter dash. But the two highlights, or the two MVPs, if you will, of the meet were actually Micaiah Lee, who individually scored 17 points. She finished, she made the finals in the 60, the long jump, and the triple jump. Her highest finish was silver medal, 2nd place in the women's long jump with the new school record of 6:26, which was phenomenal. And then freshman Paul McCants was the highest point scorer for the men. He scored 11 points on his own, 2nd place in the 60-meter dash, and 6th place in the 200-meter dash. And for a freshman to make 2 finals and be the leading points getter on the men's side is a phenomenal job all around. So MVPs go to Micaiah Lee and Paul McCants, but the MVP of the meet was clearly Micaiah Lee.
Set, go! Out, 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 there you go. Stay there, stay there, stay there, stay there.
To truly understand how to overcome adversity and what that looks like and the levels and depths and just character it takes to truly overcome anything that you deal with in your life, you need to read Survive in Advance by Tiana Madison, published under her previous married name, Tiana Bartoletta. It's a phenomenal piece of writing. It's about a hell of a lot more than track and field. And like I said, we could be here for hours talking about her life and the things that she's had to overcome. Me personally, I've had to overcome a lot. Jesus.
See?
I'm not a writer, so I don't know if it's ever going to make it into a memoir form, but I was mostly raised by a single mother who I think did a phenomenal job, but my father, who I'm named after, was both a great man to me, but also a very flawed individual. He died of a drug overdose when I was 11. My mother, encountered and has had to deal with most of her adult life, struggling with the realities of HIV through his drug use. At one point, at a time in the world, I didn't think my mother was going to be alive to see me graduate from high school. I almost screwed up so badly in school that I didn't get an opportunity to go to college. So education literally saved my life. Props to Alonzo Carter. Junior high, I did football, baseball, basketball, track and field, soccer, swimming. I did everything. Nowadays, you got kids who are specializing in sport starting at age 10 years old and younger. A lot of that and the specialization and the idea that coaches are a lot more advanced leads to a lot of entitlement. It leads to a lot of, raised expectations that a lot of the young people struggle to live up to. And I think kids at the high school level are under a lot more pressure and strain than they used to be. It used to be a lot less business than it is today at the younger levels.
There was a lot of character building involved in, I think, our come up in the sport because of what we, didn't have access to. And I think that kind of adversity really shaped the type of competitor I turned into because, I just found a way to win. I mean, I've got 9 global championship medals, and none of which I was the favorite for. So it's one of those situations where you used to, being backed against the wall or not having it all, you figure out how to make it happen. And I think that little piece is missing for people who don't go through that.
Agreed. I try to support that my athletes in every possible way that I'm legally allowed to do. The coaching piece, the X's and O's of how to make a person faster, that stuff comes natural to me, and that's the easiest part of my job. As a director, I'm basically in charge of the lives and the livelihoods of 50 people, every single day. And you're talking about, my staff and my team. The athletes are an eclectic group of people and personality. They come from all over the world. They come from different cultures. They all came to San Jose, with different levels of expectations, with different goals, with different mindsets. And, I spend much more of my time managing personalities and trying to find a way to connect and be supportive of their vision and their dreams and what they want to accomplish than I do writing training programs. I think as a coach, especially a coach at the collegiate level, my biggest charge is the development of young adults. And so that's a very complicated world. I mean, I've dealt with, every problem imaginable that you can think of. I've dealt with crime. I've dealt with rape. I've had to deal with sexual assault. I've had to deal with academic failure. I've had to deal with, losing family members. It's much, it's much more of you almost feel like a therapist at times, trying to help these young people navigate the very busy world that is their lives. And in this new time with the development of social media, I mean, these kids are dealing with challenges and perspectives and constant, instant results of everything. Things that, my generation, I'm 41 years old, I just turned 41. We literally invented social media. So I'm the last generation that understands what life was before it existed. These kids have only grown up in this world where it's a constant part of their lives. And that's a huge stressor. I mean, every problem that they have is amplified. It's talked about in real time. It's put on display. And, the mental health and emotional health of my athletes is something that we are constantly dealing with and trying our best to support. This team, from the day I walked in, when I first sat in the chair, this team has been a close-knit group. I think they became that close, dealing with all the chaos that they had to suffer through from the previous staff and the complications that came, within the program. They are very supportive of each other. The little superficial stuff that all teams do, they cheer, they encourage, they do that well, but they're legitimately a good group of kids and supportive of each other off the track. I know they help each other with their academic work. There was a death earlier in the year of a former team member tragic death down in Southern California, and they all came together for like a candlelight vigil for their ex-teammate. That was probably, I think, within like the first 2 weeks of school, and that just gave me a real sense of that this group was very close knit, that they had gone through some things together, and along this journey they've actually bonded, and that's cool, and it's important. When as a new staff, we're constantly trying to build trust with these people that we didn't know prior to getting here. The fact that they're so close and have been through some things prior helps to foster those relationships a lot faster. And they've been, nothing but supportive from where I sit of each other. And honestly, they've made the transition of learning new staff members and buying into the vision of what we're trying to get them to see. They've been very, leaning in and trusting the process, whatever you want to call it. They've been very open to the things that we're trying to teach them, and that's great. Do I get to include the staff? No. Honestly, man, like we have such an eclectic mix of kids. I truly find all of them really interesting personalities. Again, I mean, we have kids from the Bay, we have kids from LA, we have kids from different states, we have kids from 6 international countries. A lot of the kids seem to be introverts, which is interesting because our sport is definitely not that. But Tiana's an introvert at heart. As long as they can flip that switch and morph into something else when the lights come on, our sport is, shine, bright lights, projection, and you gotta have, you gotta morph yourself into the version that is gonna demand the best performances when the lights come on. Currently, who is showing the most potential is Roman Johnson. He is the highest rated athlete on our team, men or women. He has a legitimate chance to qualify for indoor nationals in the 60-meter dash. He's right now the only athlete on our roster with a legitimate chance to qualify for that level of competition this year. We have some athletes on this team right now, people that we inherited that have a lot of quote-unquote potential. But our game doesn't reward potential, our game rewards results. So they have to grind, they got to do the work, and they have to perform. I think some of the people with the highest potential seem to be Sydney Bentley. She has no idea how good she can be. She's learning how to start to bring some of that out. Makai Harrison, our new hurdle transfer, he has All-American potential. Makai Evans-Bay and Nick Harper, Bashar Barksdale, all of those guys, either individually or collectively as a unit, can compete at the highest level this season. Bryson Smith is probably our top thrower, but he's a freshman. Bryson is big, he's a strong kid, he learns fast, his techniques are getting improved at a really high rate. And there's no telling what Bryson can or cannot be, but he has a lot of potential. Micaiah Lee in the jumps, Greta Ferraccio in the jumps, Amelia in the jumps. They're all different people, and they all need, to be treated with respect and have us as a staff take time to get to know every one of them. And I'm the director, right? So it's one thing for Ernie to spend a lot of time with the sprinters, or for TJ to spend a lot of time with the jumps and throws, or for Charmaine to spend a lot of time with the distances. I have to, on top of all of that, get to know all of them, because ultimately I'm in charge and leading the whole entire roster. So personality management is crucial, and it's a big part of what we're ultimately trying to do here. We didn't really have any, true expectations of the indoor season at all. We just wanted to learn who these kids were and what kind of team we had on our hands, and I think we learned a lot about the team throughout this championship. A lot of the athletes have a true championship mentality, proven by the fact that they were their best versions of themselves in a championship setting. You can build on that. We can recruit off of that. And so moving forward, I'm very happy with where they finished and what I learned about them overall as a team. But as far as expectations, we didn't have any coming in. This is a rebuild. And so we're just trying to learn more about these kids week to week. As far as the team finishes, I mean, we know what we were indoor, so obviously we're trying to better that result outdoor. The outdoor season works better for us. The outdoor event schedule plays more in our favor. So I would imagine that both teams, men and women, would finish higher outdoors, but it's ultimately about how many people we can get qualified for nationals.
When I look at San Jose State, someone asked me would I become involved? And my answer is not very much because, I'm older and I've been around track for a long time, and I promoted track. Everywhere that I've gone, I promoted it. And right now, you're up against a lot of competition. And, they try to promote football, which is all right. But it's very important to promote the sport that majors. Okay, San Jose State is known for track and field. And so therefore, you have to promote it as a coach. You just can't expect that somebody else to promote it for you, because they won't. And then you have to be encouraging, your kids, because everybody's not going to win. In fact, everybody loses. Nobody's undefeated. But that's part of life. Life is you're gonna win, but you're gonna lose too. So what? You just pick yourself back up and get back in the game.